Welcome to Family Center Focus, a locally produced segment featuring staff and programs at the Family Center in Wisconsin Rapids, the Wisconsin Rapids-based agency for victims of domestic violence and sexual violence. I'm Deb Cleworth, Community Outreach and Fund Development Manager, and your host for today's program. As many know, the Family Center services are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year round, and that includes holidays. Our guest today is the Family Center's lead shelter advocate, Danny, who is our newest member to our team. She's going to talk today a little bit about what she does and what brought her to the Family Center. Welcome, Danny.
Thank you, Deb.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good holiday?
Yes.
Good.
Went too fast.
As always. Can you share a little bit about yourself for our today's viewers?
Yes, I am. I just currently got engaged. I have two wonderful daughters, 18 and 29. I got my master's in marketing at Purdue University.
Very
and
cool.
I do a lot of public relations, and I enjoy it a lot. So.
Very cool. Congratulations on the engagement. Didn't know that, so congratulations.
Next year.
Okay. So what is it about the Family Center that interested you? What brought you to our facility?
I wanted to be able to help individuals, and I wanted to give back to the community.
Okay. All right. Which a lot of us do there, and that's
do.
why we're there. So what are some of the first things you do when a client comes to shelter? Because you're kind of the main shelter focus when a client comes in, correct?
Correct. First, we assess the situation. Once it's assessed and that they are in need of our services, we bring them up to shelter. We get them settled into their room, let them get situated for a little while. From that point on, we kind of give them an activity plan on how to start moving forward, and we're there for them to talk to. And then after that, it all kind of falls into place.
Okay. You brought up get them settled into their rooms. Can you share with our viewers a little bit? Maybe some people don't know what the shelter situation, so to speak, is. Maybe they think it's kind of a dormitory situation. Talk a little bit about what the actual physical facility is for the people that come to shelter.
It is not a dorm situation. It is more like apartments. You have huge studio rooms. A few of them accommodate 5 children with a mother, or there's one that's smaller for just a single lady. We have 2 kitchens that are full. They have their own refrigerators they're assigned. We have a section where it's a quiet living room, and then we have one where it's basically the community living room, so everybody can have their own space. We have washer and dryer. We have a library for the children and for adults, but mainly more for children. And that's about it. I mean, it's very large. And a playroom. There's a playroom
right?
fully equipped with many, many, many toys.
Yep. And there's also outdoor play space, which is fenced in for security and safety reasons as well. So what are some of the activities that shelter clients can participate in? Outside of maybe the counseling aspect of it, are there things that they can do while they're there?
Yes, Lauren, our child advocate, she will usually implement learning programs for the children. She takes them under her wing, and she'll do certain activities that is specific for that one individual. Some children might have learning disabilities, others might not, so she really adapts very well to the children, keeps them active and busy if they are not in school. And as far as the adults, I'm currently starting a new type of program where we're going to have theme parties, like once or twice a month for the adults. Children are welcome into it also, but this way we'll have a movie and we'll do everything that day, something that pertains to the movie.
Oh, fun.
Dress up or do what we can to make it a little bit more enjoyable and take your mind off of worries.
Right. So I think one of the things that the staff does upstairs is tries to make it as comfortable and as home-like as possible,
Yes.
correct? They want you to feel at home and not feel like you're in some kind of regimented situation, but yet still provide the services they need to get them out. Because that's the end. What is the end goal?
Is to be transitioned out and be totally independent and take care of yourself and worry about yourself and your family. And you don't have to go back to the abuser at all. You
Right.
have no fear at all of having to ever return back to him. And 9 times out of 10, when they do leave our shelter, they are on track, and they do very well.
And for some people watching our program, that might not seem like a big thing, but I know we've talked about this before, that for some people that come to the shelter, they have been in situations where they had no control in their life. They were always told what to do and how to act and how to behave. So this is a
Correct.
whole new experience for them to make those decisions, which for some people might seem like not a big deal, but for those who have been in an abusive situation, those are
Right.
some big steps.
Right, and everybody is different in how they heal and how they progress. We have triggers. Sometimes somebody can say a word and it triggers something in them where they would go back 4 steps. They just did 7 steps, but they ended up going back 4
Okay.
steps. It's having them be able to cope in the situation and bounce back. That's the main thing. So they feel secure with themselves and confident that they made the right decision and that they're making right decisions for them and their children. But I think the main goal in the Family Center is to let them have confidence, let them feel good, happy, and secure with themselves. And that's when they leave, they know with their held head up high, they did it.
Right.
They made
Right.
it.
And they've made those
Yeah,
the
and
choices.
they did it. They have nobody making the choices for them. Us as advocates, we don't make the choices for them. Everything is their choice.
Give them the options,
Mm-hmm.
give them suggestions, but the bottom line is they decide
Right.
what direction and what they're going to do.
Right.
You've said that you wear many hats in your position as lead shelter advocate. It's kind of maybe that's a catch-all term. And talk a little bit about those different hats that you may wear all in one day
Oh my
or
gosh.
throughout the week, or just talk about some of the different.
Well, as lead shelter advocate, I not only advocate, I also supervise. I have employees underneath me, so I have to do the scheduling, the payroll, all the paperwork, that fun stuff. But that is daily. And many hats I have to do is daily. I'm a counselor, I give them self-esteem. I'm an advisor, a life coach. Daycare, I have to assist them with finding daycare, and sometimes I end up being a little bit of daycare so they can take care of paperwork and phone calls. I become a legal advocate. I help them with their restraining orders, with filing their divorce, visitation, housing. I have to assist and get them a home that they can move into, and the application process, and the fees and the necessities, and also give them the proper bedding, everything that goes into a home. We try and set up so that
Right.
when they do move, they have what they need. And it's not about it, but there's always a lot of stuff
There's
thrown
always one,
in.
right.
Always a lot of stuff thrown
And
in.
I think for a lot of the advocates at the Family Center, that is kind of typical too. You have your specialty, but everybody kind of helps each other and
Right.
does a little bit of this and that. And an interesting thing you just mentioned too is a lot of times somebody may come to the shelter because they have left that situation and they come with nothing. So a part of the process of being in shelter is building towards that independence so that when they are able to leave and feel confident that they have those items that they need to leave.
Right.
And that's where the donations and our donors come
Oh.
into play, because whether it's monetary or in-kind donations, from clothing to household items to sometimes bedding when we need it, that they
It's
really
very
step
important.
up and can help, because the clients again aren't charged for any of the services. There's no charge for them when they are in shelter, from the meals to the lodging. It's
Right, and
It's
I
all
call our
geared to-
donors shelter angels.
Oh,
That's what I told
shelter
that-
angels.
I told
I like
that to
that.
one of our employees. I said, there are shelter angels.
They truly are. They truly are. It seems like when we're in need, they do step up.
Yeah.
So even though you've started in November,
Correct.
So you've been there just almost 2 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been able to see, what are some of the changes that maybe you've been able to experience, where maybe someone came into shelter and you see them, reach this point where now they feel confident and they feel strong and they're ready to take on the world, so to speak?
When I first started, there was a mother with handful of children, and she was transitioning out into her own home.
Okay.
We scheduled up bedding, and they had their own beds, and she was just so excited the day that she left that she said it was because of us that she was able to start her new life, her new chapter.
Right.
And the kids were excited, and they did come back 1 or 2 times just so they could make sure that they had everything they needed, and they just were so happy to see the energy, compared to what it was when they first entered,
Right.
it is so rewarding.
Great. And those are the stories
Yes.
you're aiming for, so great.
Yes.
If someone who is watching our program now has been or is in an abusive situation, what would you like to say to them?
You are not alone. We are there for you. We will do what we can to help you. Call, ask, find out information. I know sometimes you have to do it secretly, but we will help you. It's confidential, and we will do what we possibly can.
Right, right. And I think another important point you brought up, that everything is confidential at the Family Center. You don't even have to give your name when you call if you don't want to. But even between advocates, a lot of stuff is very confidential. They may not talk about a client sometimes to another advocate, just depending on the situations.
Yeah.
So it's very secure and very confidential, and safety is our prime concern there for our clients, to keep them safe.
Speaking of safety, if you are planning on leaving, make sure you have a safety plan. Make sure you have things packed, all your important documents, birth certificates, court orders, restraining orders. Keep it somewhere, whether it's by a family's house, a neighbor's house, a friend. Put a little bit of money in there. Put your cell phone in there. Don't let him know or her know that it's anywhere that they can find it, because that's something that's going to be very useful to you when you first do leave the situation. And it doesn't cause so many loopholes when you're trying to get the process going of leaving, and even with the law, you'll have everything right in your hand. So,
and that's another thing advocates can help with at the Family Center. If you're in a situation where you are uncomfortable or you feel, that you need to leave, but you're not quite sure how to do it or what to do, you can call an advocate and they can advise you and help you through that process as well. What do you enjoy most about being at the Family Center so far?
I love and adore the clients. I love helping them. I love feeling needed. I like that they need my help, that they trust me, and that they are looking for guidance with anything from the legal part to it to the housing part. And when the little kids come in and they just are smiling, and you see that after a few days of being there, they're comfy and they've gone through that whole withdrawal system, it just is so amazing. And that's you can't put a price on it.
Right.
You can't get paid enough for that. So that's the one thing that means a lot to me, is every day I don't look at it as a chore coming into work.
That's great. That's great. And just kind of touch on this program will be airing through January, so we're wrapping up the holidays. But the holidays at the Family Center are, I think the word that came to mind most was chaotic a little bit.
Chaotic.
But our donors have been phenomenal once again this year, and whether through monetary donations or gifts for our clients, it was phenomenal. And one thing, again, up in shelter is, it's difficult at that time of year to have a holiday when you're not in your own home. And I think one thing that the Family Center staff tries to do, especially again up in shelter, is try and make those holidays as nice as possible. And we've had an amazing donor who makes a home-cooked meal for the clients, and there were a couple parties, I think.
We had a Christmas party. Santa came and visited, so all the kids knew that even though they're not in their other home, he knows where they are.
Yep.
He knows where to find them, so that was exciting too.
Great. So no matter what time of year, what the weather, the Family Center shelter is always available to those who are in need of it. So, well, thanks, Danny. I hope our listeners got, a little more insight as to what we provide. So before we go, we'd just like to mention a couple of upcoming events that the Family Center is involved in. Creating Moments' 5th annual bridal fair, is set for January 19th at Hotel Mead. And they are actually taking donations, non-perishable foods and paper products for the Family Center. And Danny and I plan to be there. It's from 11 to 3 on January 19th. So stop by, drop off a few items for the Family Center. We're always in need of paper items such as toilet paper and paper towels, and
Clorox wipes,
especially this time of year.
laundry soap.
Yeah. So, drop off a couple items, say hi. If you have any questions, we'll be there to answer them for you. Also, keep watching for information on the 12th annual Men in the Kitchen.
Yes.
This year it is set for February 25th at Bullseye Country Club. We have several chefs returning from last year, still looking for a few. So if any of you viewers out there know of anyone, tell them to give me a call. So keep watching our Facebook page and other places for information on that. So that about wraps it up for this program. I'd like to thank Danny
Thank you.
for being here with us, and Wisconsin Rapids Community Media for their help, and you, our viewers, for tuning in. Remember, if you or someone you know is in a situation that you feel is abusive or just not safe, the Family Center is always here to help. You can call us at 715-421-1511, day or night, any time of day, any time of night, and an advocate will be there to take your call and talk to you, help you with whatever situation you're in. And again, that's 715-421-1511. Follow us on Facebook, check out our website, and we'll see you next time.
Happy New
Thanks.
Year.
Happy New Year.